Welcome to Intentionality with Paul Kempf, the podcast where we explore the possibilities and opportunities that can be created by a more intentional life. This is episode 19. If you're listening on a podcast, please follow us. If you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Where you follow us on social media, please share so that we can reach more people and impact more lives. Today we have another guest on the couch here with me. But before I get to the introduction of my guest, let me set up this interview a little bit. You'll remember 2 episodes ago, episode number 17, when I spoke around the subject of longevity. I mentioned 10 behaviors or habits that I think can help you to live a longer life. Now, one of those habits was getting good quality sleep. And when I spoke about it in that episode, I did say that at a later episode, I will tell you why this year I'm giving myself a lot better mark for the quality of my sleep than a year ago. It's because I discovered something that has helped me sleep a lot better. And we're going to talk about that today. But even before I get to that, and before I get to the introduction of my guest today, let me tell you a little bit about my history with supplements, vitamins, and minerals. For 50 years, I've been avoiding them. My wife every now and then thinks that I need some vitamins and supplements because of my poor eating habits. And every now and then she would buy something from a pharmacy, she would give it to me and say, you got to drink these tablets or these pills. And I would do so for a day or two, maybe sometimes a week, and then I'd not feel good. I'd feel sick and I'll just leave them and say, no, these things aren't working for me. So let me be honest straight off. For the last 50 years, I haven't really believed in things like supplements and vitamins and minerals, things that you have to drink to have a more healthy life. And then something interesting happened. Somebody introduced me to a pill from a company called Eugen. And it has made an incredible difference already in a very, very short period of time, specifically around my sleep. And that is why I decided I wanted somebody from Eugen on my podcast. While we are in these episodes where we're talking about a more intentional life, to talk about some secrets to a healthier life that I have discovered that seems to work for me. So I'd like to welcome to the couch today Lilanie Joubert from Eugen. Lilanie, thank you for joining me.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me.
Lilanie, how would you describe yourself to the listeners?
So I'm Lilanie Joubert. I'm the lead pharmacist at Eugen. I've had the privilege to start working there when the company opened. But before then, let me tell you a little bit more about my background story.
Please.
So I come from Springs. I grew up in the small town there. Then I decided to go study chemical engineering. It was either that or becoming a pharmacist. And I decided, you know what, let me go for the chemical engineering because I love maths and I love chemistry. And I did that for a year. Then I went to work during the holiday at a mine. And that's where I realized, I love people way more than mines. So I went and I completed my year of chemical engineering. And I switched over my career to pharmacy, and oh my goodness, I love that. I'm definitely living in my calling. It's such a pleasure working with people and just making sure that they, are living in a healthy way. Trying to make sure they're living in a healthy way. And I have to say, I'm very, very grateful for my very loving family, my mom and my sister. Unfortunately, my dad passed away when I was 12 years old. So my mom did the best that she could, and I'm very, very grateful for that. The rest of my family were very close up until this day. We see each other like once a week. And I am in a very happy relationship at the moment. And I'm very happy in my work. I love the work that I'm doing, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I have working at Eugene. and I love working at Eugene.
I'd love to hear more about the Eugen story. And thank you for sharing so much about your own personal story. I'm already impressed. A love of chemistry, a love of maths, a love of people. Wonderful combination. But how did you not end up being just a normal pharmacist working in a normal pharmacy? How did you end up at Eugen? How did you decide to make Eugen your career?
So I did work in a normal retail pharmacy for the previous 6 years.
Okay.
I did my internship and my community service as normal, as one should after completing your studies. Afterwards, I was a responsible pharmacist for 2.5, almost 3 years. And then I did some locum work for 1.5 years. And then I was approached by one of the guys who I used to work for in the main groups that's very popular or well known in our country. And he approached me together with the founders of Eugene. So Eugene was founded by 4 men, and one of the founders, who worked in one of the very well-known community pharmacies, he saw the need for people to live a healthier life. And that is where we come in, because we want to be that balance between Western medicine and using natural supplements. And if I can say it like this, people use Western medicine and there is sometimes not a need for it. And yes, don't get me wrong, there is a need for Western medicine and there is a place for it. But it's also important to note that natural medicine and natural medicine can actually help you way more if you sustain a healthy lifestyle, if you actually exercise, if you actually work towards a goal in the sense of longevity. If you do your part and you take care of your body and you use natural supplements, then you can do so much good for yourself, and then there won't be a need for Western medicine, because Western medicine, unfortunately, do have a lot of side effects, and then you have to take another medicine to help you with the side effects that you're experiencing, and then you have to take another pill, and that's not nice. Let's be honest. It's not nice drinking 10 pills in the morning because you're experiencing all of this. But so that's where we come in, and we want to be that balance between Western medicine and natural medicine.
I'm starting to understand why I've enjoyed this Eugen experience so much. Everything you're saying fits into my thinking around health and around what you need to have a healthier life. One of the things I liked about the Eugen experience was the app. Don't you want to tell us more about the app?
Oh, the app is wonderful. So it is such a user-friendly experience, even if I might say so myself. So you download the app. You can download the app on any app store, or if you have the Android version, then you have the opportunity to choose one of our products. So we have listed quite a few new products on our app, and I quickly just want to say this. So on Eugene, what makes us so unique is because we focus on you as a person. We focus on how to treat you according to your lifestyle and your habits. And our formulations are created based on your weight, your height, and your lifestyle. And so if I can simplify it like this, each person's U-pill will be different. So you and our U-pill won't look the same, and our formulations and our compounds won't look the same. So, and I think that's what's so amazing, and especially, bringing it back to the app, and the app experience. You go in, you download the app, you fill in your basic information, you give us your age, your height, what we need, and your weight. You can choose between the U-pill. We have a U-pill Plus. We do blood works. We do gene testing, and then we have a new product, U-Fit, because we see it as this whole synergistic system that we want to be part of in your life. We don't want to leave you alone and be like, oh, you're going to order a U-pill and that's it. You're just one person in the community. No, you're part of our community. You're part of our family, And so on the U-pill, it's just the basic experience. You have the capsule. We have a few different categories that you can decide on. For example, I'm struggling with sleep. I'm struggling with anxiety. I'm struggling with allergies. I'm struggling with skin. I'm struggling with concentration, just a few of the many that we have there. You drag these categories into your pill, And what's so cool, your phone vibrates when you drag your categories in. And then when you go through the whole process, we obviously ask you questions. Are you on any contraindications? Are you on any chronic medications? Have you experienced any side effects with medicine? Because obviously we want to make sure that we give you the right compound. And I'm the pharmacist. I will check and make sure that there are no contraindications with the Western medicine that you're taking at the moment. And if there are, for example, if you're on warfarin, there might be some compounds that I will then take out of your formulation. I will phone you and I will tell you, listen, this one I'm going to take out. I will replace it with something else. It will still have the same benefits. And this is the experience that you have. And then when you go through, you place your order, you will see we have like these info signs that you can click on and you can actually read up, because you, in layman terms, won't understand what quercetin is, but I will know what it is. So you can actually read, oh my goodness, this is what quercetin is, and you'll understand why you are getting it into your capsule. Because sometimes you just walk into a pharmacy, you see the shelves are stacked with many bottles of medicine. You don't understand why you're going to use this. And front shop assistants sometimes don't understand it as well. And then you don't get that, personal experience, if I can say it like that, and you just buy and you hope that it will work for you. Where in our case, we make sure that the formulations that you get into your capsule are actually right for you and it will actually help you. Then we also have the Upil Plus. That is a more in-depth questionnaire that you can go through. There we focus more on your blood glucose levels, your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure levels. We focus on if you have heartburn, if you have like tingling fingers, a little bit more in depth. And then we have the blood works that we can do. You can book your appointment through us. We have a nurse that will come and draw your blood. We phone you. We give you the feedback. You would know. And then from there, we can actually help you to compound the right Upil for you. That will actually benefit you. And then we have the UFit experience, where you can book a consultation with Jock, one of our other directors, and he will sit and have a consultation with you. And he will tell you, we will give you out exercising programs, and you pay like a monthly subscription for it. And oh my goodness, it really helps. I have to say I'm on it now, and it really does work. But that's enough about our products at the moment.
I do want to say something else. Yes. I've had the personal experience. I've loved the app, and you and I have had the interaction around a specific part of my health, the cholesterol thing.
Yes.
So I think that Eugen is already helping me to sleep better. That's my experience.
Yeah.
The next big test is going to be if the compound we've done now on my Upil is going to help me to lower the cholesterol.
Yes.
Now, there's something that you've put in there. I can't remember what it was. Don't you want to just tell us quickly about that?
Yes, sure. So the compound that we've put in was trans-resveratrol. So that is what I've added into yours, because what I've noticed was that you didn't need to go onto Western medicine because your cholesterol levels wasn't that high. But sad to say, if you had gone to a doctor, it would have been, here we go, we're going to give you a statin for it, where you might have had to, or where you might have, I don't know, experience some side effects. But luckily for you, with some lifestyle changes, diet, exercise, and adding this natural supplement, for example, resveratrol, it is definitely going to make, and I'm very sure of it.
Wonderful. One last question about Eugen. How's it going? How's your growth been since you started? Where's Eugen heading, and what's next for Eugen?
It is wonderful. And I must say, I think, with our app experience, with our social media, and especially word of mouth. I mean, you've heard from a friend, and I think your experience with our capsules, that really helps. And I think we've seen so many orders coming in. We go into the to the lab every morning very early just to make sure we get through our batches and our orders during the day so that we can make the deliveries on time. So we are very, very grateful for all of our orders that comes in.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing a bit about the Eugen experience. I want to get back to you. You know by now the name of this podcast is Intentionality with Paul Kempf. So it's all about having a very intentional life. Is there anything you do in your life on a daily, weekly basis that you can tell the listeners and the viewers about that's intentional for you to create more success, to create a better life?
I have to say, I'm a very extroverted person. So yes, I make sure to make time to spend with my friends and my family. I've mentioned before how close I am with my family, and it's very uplifting spending time with people and actually being intentional about that, because being alone can also be very draining. So spending and surrounding yourself with people, I think that is one of the best things. But then also, I'm very strict about my exercise routine. So I make sure that I exercise at least 4 to 5 times a week. So that really helps me. And it's also really good for your hormones and the release that you get through that stress release. It's really good for your health. I'm very intentional about the music that I listen to and the TV shows that I watch. I know it might sound a little bit weird, but it is very important what you expose yourself to, because that is actually, what the memories and the thoughts that's forming in your brain. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
If we go back to episode 17, where I spoke about longevity, you brought up a couple of the things that I've talked about, a couple of the habits and behaviors that contributes to a longer life, to a quality life. You mentioned exercise specifically, and then very importantly, the one that says positive social relationships, because positive social relationships actually contributes to your longevity.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for sharing. One last question for you today. In all of my previous episodes, I have shared a tip of the week, like a recommendation that I do on the podcast. Sometimes it's a book, sometimes it's a movie, sometimes it's a quote, sometimes it's a podcast. Would you mind giving our listeners and our viewers a tip of the week today? Anything you want to share that you found inspiring or motivating in your life?
So I've actually thought about this, and instead of giving a tip or a movie quote or a book, which I might have many because I read a lot, but I thought about leaving the audience with a simple question, which I hope to inspire you with. And that question is, what are you willing to do to get what you want? And by that I mean, are you willing to say no? Are you willing to have those tough conversations? Are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to wake up at 5 a.m. to go exercise? What are you willing to do?
I love it. It makes me think of sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want in life?
Yeah.
There was one of my previous episodes where I spoke about life is hard, but you can choose your hard.
Amen.
So you can choose whether you want to be fit or unfit. Both are hard.
But
it's your choice which one you want to choose.
I agree.
So I love your tip. Thank you so much for that, Lilanie. And thank you for being here and joining me on the couch with Intentionality with Paul Kempf.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And that's it for this week's episode. All that's left is to thank my wonderful production team for all their hard work behind the scenes. Thank you to FFG for your continued support of this podcast and helping us to create memories along this journey. If you want to get hold of me, please send me an email to paul@iwpk.co.za. Congratulate yourself on making the choice to live a more intentional life, to be the architect of your own success. And may the rest of your week be an amazing, intentional journey. Join us again next week for the next episode of our podcast. Thank you.